All right, look, before I get into this video, I do want to let y'all know, because y'all probably have no clue who the fuck I am. My name's Norm. My real name's Carson. Over the past year, I've been able to partner with some creators, win the school games, run MRR up over $37,000. I've been able to build systems out for countless people and actually see them rip and get results. And now I want to come to you and show you in this video how less is more. And the reason why I say that is because I learned all these softwares. I was schizoing, I was going crazy. I love the nerd shit, right? But I was doing way too much and was not getting enough output. So I wanted to come to you, show you the change, the paradigm shift that I had that helped me get to that next level and actually make more money with doing less input. And so that's the whole point of this video. I want to thank you so much for pressing on and seeing where we're at now, and I'm going to jump right into it. I'm going to make this the most nonchalant video ever. I actually got, my man, the myth, the legend, Justin. I'll cut that in and out unless you want me to. I don't really do fucking videos like this. And for some odd reason, I feel very comfortable in front of Justin doing this. So, but I want to make this video as simple as possible. Just kind of explaining why less is always more. And I know that's like, oh, I fucking heard that shit before, yada, yada, yada. And I really, shout out to Charlie Morgan. Might not mean much, but Justin actually put me onto a video last night, and Charlie Morgan was talking about a bunch of inputs compared to outputs. And so that got me thinking, because I watched something earlier that was talking about this like AI appointment setting bot and everything like that, and how they like did away with setters, and they only had closers because of this software. So I just kind of wanted to be generalized with this and go over why less is always more, and just brainstorm. And then if y'all have any questions or anything or advice, feedback, put it down below. Here's a little bit of social proof real quick for y'all boys. This is not mine, but this is most definitely beautiful up on this 39th floor. Am I correct, Justin? I feel like the air is a little bit better up here.
Yep.
But as you can see my iPad screen, and basically I'm just gonna go over this thing that we like to call the bell curve. This is so much fun. I want to let you know that this Justin sends me this shit. Mentors Brady and Eddie send me this shit. And so as you can see my screen real quick, y'all probably like, who are these faces? What does this mean? So I mean, you can see down here it says like IQ score, right? But I really want you to understand on a business level what this means. And I'm gonna simplify it, very simple for you. And hopefully you understand how this can help you to avoid just stupid shit in the business that you don't need to really be working on. So I'm gonna kind of give you my story real quick on kind of what happened. In the beginning, little noob, right? Noob over here, oh my God, I'm learning softwares, I'm trying different things. We actually had an offer with a tech creator, and we were basically doing his community, his back end of his business. We were helping send out applications. We were doing a bunch of stuff. But a little bit before that, we were new to business. We thought we were gonna make $10,000 in the first month. Most definitely did not happen. But that's the quick dopamine of seeing these gurus and everything online of how you can make 10K in the first month. So biggest thing for us, we did not make 10K the first month, we did not make 10K the second month, and we most definitely did not make 10K the third month. But finally we got to a point where we understood why we were not making 10K a month, and then made the money by doing way too many complicated shit, and then turned around and realized that it was a lot more simpler than that. So again, in the beginning, just learning stuff, being a dweeb, being this guy right here. And with being this guy right here, you can see he's kind of a newbie. He's got an IQ score of 55, right? Figuring it out. I'm not calling me dumb, I'm not calling me smart either, but I will say in the beginning it was very hard to figure out kind of what worked the best for us. So we were noob with it. Then we signed that creator, tech creator. We started to realize that, oh my goodness, I most definitely can figure this out. We started going up this little mountain right here. We went ahead, started closing people on MRR, started doing PIFs and everything, and then we turned around and we were like, look, we can do so much more for this guy. Let's go ahead and Zapier. Let's go ahead and put together a CRM. Let's lead collect. And again, all this, yes, there's a difference between organization and overloading organization with too much shit to where you can't be organized. And so the biggest thing that happened with us, and I'm speaking when I mean us, I mean me and Rashad, the biggest thing that we realized was we didn't realize that we were doing too much until we were doing too much. And that was when I started setting up Zapiers. I started managing the database of the actual applications being sent out to these companies for these students. I started doing all this different stuff, and we were bare, like, it took us a month, and we did like 8K in pips, and we did, it was like 3K. I'll pop it on the screen, but we did 3K in MRR. And so the biggest thing was we were like, oh my God, we're doing all this shit. We were so happy to hit 10K, but it was just like way too much in the beginning. So basically, like, I mean, we really did realize that 11K a month, holy shit, like we were like so excited about that. But at the same time, turned around and we were like, we're doing so much. So right about that time, when we hit that 11K a month, we were this guy in the middle, crying, fucking IQ was high, don't get me wrong, but boy, were we using like 4 different fucking softwares, 4 tools. We had hired 3 VAs, was in the negatives. And what I mean by that is after everything was said and done with subscriptions and everything, we got down to a point and we didn't even get paid. And so we had to figure that out. And our cut out of that was only like 30%. And we worked up to get to a 40% of revenue. But when you're, I mean, after expenses, like this $11,000 that we did, it came down to where we were only 8K profit. And then from 8K profit, we only got 30% of that. And it ended up taking a whole another month to get paid because of expenses and stuff that happened. And I look back at that now and I'm just like, there was too much shit going on. And so when all this happened, especially with this offer, we turned around and we realized that, holy shit, 1, I don't want to do this industry ever again, respectfully. And 2, you can make a lot of money doing less, a lot more money doing less. And the reason why I said that is because like, I looked at like Alex Hormozy and I looked at all these other people that were just like, I wake up, I do this. And again, that is like quick dopamine, like let me give you some value, make you want to follow me in business. But what it does is it really helps you understand that if people do what they want. So if they want to have a fucking 10-step routine in the morning, they will. But if they also want to have a 2-step routine and not make their bed and do anything like that, but make millions, they can do that too. And so the biggest thing is, I mean, it does help, don't get me wrong. Like, I like to be an organized person. I like to make my bed. I like nice things and clean shit. And one thing I learned when we went to the school games with Sam Ovens, he was basically saying, like, every time a new MacBook comes out, I buy that MacBook. I just like new MacBooks. I like my desk area. Like, if there's something that I want for it, I will buy it just to make my life easier and nicer. And that's his caveat that he likes to do, and one thing that he stays on top of. So like for me, I mean, shit, I like nice shit. I don't like to overcomplicate it, but I do like my area. I do like my certain things. So again, like I'm Norm. I mean, I like Norm likes Norm shit. You know what I mean? Like I like the shit that I like, and you may like something different, and that's completely fine. Don't let that be a factor of you not being able to make money, because it truly is untrue. So like if you're thinking, oh, well, I'm vaping or I'm smoking, I'm doing this, it might be a factor, but at the same time, it turns around and it's up to you to actually make that money. But the biggest thing next was I do want to go over how we kind of transitioned from this guy right here to being able to go to the other side of the bell curve and understand why less is always more. And so the whole point of this video is to really explain that if you're starting out in business or if you're already in business and you're trying to optimize, that again, it might be cliche to say, but less is always more. Find the inputs that create so much output and do those. Then you'll have problems from those and you'll be able to solve those each day. Don't create more problems when there's already stuff in front of you. And I think that's the biggest thing is like solve those problems you have. Do not create more problems off of stuff that hasn't even introduced itself to you yet. So we went from doing a tech offer to like, okay, what's something that might be a little bit harder, but might be able to simplify. And so we had reached out, we had talked to a bunch of people, we had an opportunity to come up to where we got to work with a guy named Daddy Wellness. And so what we got to do, if you've watched my other videos, my school videos and stuff like that, you got to see that we actually won the school games with this guy. We also turned around his first month as an LLC, we made him $17,000, and the most amount of money we made for him was $37,000. Again, I have no problem telling you this shit because it's true, it happened, and it was easy to understand and simplify to make this title make sense, how less is always more. So basically, the difference between this guy and this guy is understanding that it truly is and needs to be simple as shit. Simple as the fuck. And that's with software, that's with teams, that's with you overthinking, that's with you focusing on one thing at a time to create a good funnel and test and get data before moving to something else. I think the biggest thing for us in the beginning was realizing that data will never lie. I actually heard that from a buddy of ours named Kyle. Data will never lie. Whenever, especially with creators, it's so hard to be like, well, I see this and this is the reason why this is working. And it's more of like, here's what the data says and this is why I think it's not working. And then they get to have their own interpretation of conversion rates and views and how many people actually got to the end of the video to see the CTA or the middle of the video to see the CTA. And so the biggest thing is too, is data will never lie. I think data, number one, should be your main priority. Like the biggest thing I stress to people is being able to, like especially creators, being able to wake up, look at data and understand where you need to go next. That's how it should be. Data is like such a minimum fucking input to get so much output from a feedback loop of you and other creators and what you need to do next. And so the biggest thing that was the difference between the tech and where we went to the school games and scaled so quickly with Richie was that it was us. We had no team members. We had one software. We ended up getting 2 softwares for CRM to try a little bit of high ticket. And then we got, ClickFunnels. Like that was it. And so the reason why I'm telling you that is we got to that point by understanding data. And the main thing I want to let you know, the reason why I'm so into this whole like mini chat and messaging and everything like that, we did $37,000 in each of those months by straight messaging. And I think the biggest thing too was the way that we won school games was straight mini chat, 2 CTAs, and 1 story post. So we did 3 CTAs total, and I'll pop that up on the screen and show like kind of what we did. And we did $17,000 off of messaging. That's when I realized less is more. I called people in the beginning to do market research. I wasn't on people's ass. We weren't spamming people with SMS. We weren't spamming stories. We weren't like, buy my shit. We weren't like that. We literally said, we incentivized with a challenge. We turned around and did straight keyword to mini chat, not comment, not anything like that. And then I sat there and realized, and again, we had them go through VSL, go through messaging, make sure they're a good fit, link to school. That simple. And that was low ticket. We did $25, we did $50 a month, and it fucking ripped for not only the first month, but the last month we ended up working with Richie. So the biggest thing that I will tell you is that from tech creator to physical ROI, right? I realized a lot of just input to output. And I also realized a lot to, again, less is always more. Do less to understand what'll make it more, right? So to break down the difference between these two people and the reason why it might feel like you're just skilled, you have to go through this middle guy. You have to, because you have to understand how everything works. And if you don't understand how everything works, then you'll never be able to get to this side, because and that's just my personal opinion. The reason why I say that is because for me, I'm a nerd. Like I want to fucking be in the middle of bell curve all the fucking time. And Shad has to remind me, Justin has to remind me, a lot of people around me have to remind me that if you're in this fucking loop right here, you're gonna go crazy and you're not gonna get anything done, nor are you gonna make any money. So I like to geek out. I like to see this shit. And I like to be like, holy shit, look at this software, look at this, this, and this. And it does not do anything for you but stress you out and make you less money. And so going from this to this over here, you can't jump over this hoop right here. You really have to understand what it means to be schizo, and then be able to take that and form it in like, okay, out of this schizo activity I only need 1 or 2 things. And so that's the biggest thing too, is like from this guy to this guy, not only did we go up $30,000 more dollars, right? Not only did we get our MRR a lot higher and the product a lot better. Being able to understand this right here, just this bell curve, is being able to understand how you can master each one. And then you can master and be Mr. Miyagi and understand exactly what it takes to run a successful business, make money the simplest way possible and the most efficient. Because I'm gonna tell you, when I was right here nerding out, there was nothing I was getting done but stressing me out, creating software, making a little bit of money for my time that I put in. And then I turned around and I mastered and became little Mr. Miyagi for a little bit. and understood that less is always more. Okay, so I'm gonna drop another video really explaining and breaking down how I actually, like, the actual inputs that I did to get the outputs over time. And I think that's the big thing, is like, how do I leverage that? How do I understand how to take this guy right here that's schizoing over everything and master that into somebody that's actually ready to really take over an opportunity in the market, to where you can use all the potential and all the nerd shit you learn from that to be able to get an understanding and master it. Again, this might be a yapsis for most of y'all. This might be fucking value for some of you. But I do want to get feedback. I do want some advice down in the comments. Just let me know what you think of this. Let me know if this helped at all. But I really wanted to stress to this because I've been sent this so many times, and I finally have like really understood what it means to be like really schizo about some shit, and then really understand why it works and why it doesn't, and simplify it. The biggest thing I can tell you for all of this, don't ever stress out with this. Don't ever, like, you're not gonna fail unless you quit. So if something doesn't go your way, it's fucking testing. It's all testing. So don't do anything, don't worry about that. If y'all need anything, I'm gonna put my Instagram down below. I'm gonna post like 4 videos this week too. Little Chicagies. Some light in this motherfucker. It's actually dope as shit though, I ain't gonna lie. Little 39th floor right now. But yeah, that was that video.